Okay, so hello everybody, welcome to the StartupGrind Zagreb. We are here today with Hermes from Impact Hub Zagreb. Thank you for taking the time to speak with us and
Thanks for coming.
share your knowledge. So, Impact Hub Zagreb, what is it?
So how much time do I have?
As much as the battery will hold and it's connected to the power.
Right.
So, as much as
So Impact Hub Zagreb is a community. It's also space, probably the narrative you have in here already. It's a community, it's a space, and it is part of the Hub Association, which gathers so far 84 different hubs around the world. We are divided in 3 different pillars and things that we offer to entrepreneurs to come. So the first one is the space. It's a space-based model. As you can see, 325 square meters of space. This is not your mainstream place for business organizations. That doesn't mean that it's not professional. On the contrary, I mean, we offer high-quality professional services to entrepreneurs. So the space-based pillar, the first pillar, is that we offer space for people so they can have their organizations here, running their businesses. They can also rent for the space for workshops or seminars or lectures or anything. The second thing is the content, access to the content. So for members and non-members, whoever would like to have access to the things that we offer at the hub, they can have access. So, and we offer that through our own programs. We have the program, I believe you were part of WISE Women, right? We have that's a capacity building program for women entrepreneurs. We have also other programs. One that we finished 1 month ago. That was the second iteration of our Impact Incubator, tailored to social entrepreneurs. And then the third one, which is also part of the program and the content that we offer, it's offered for students, and it's called Social Impact Award. The third pillar, it's access to the network, access to the community. So there are, we have a local community of members, up to between a little bit less than 50 members we have so far. They are coming from different fields, so education, ICT, health, some of them, what else? We have some freelancers, translators, website developers. We have also small companies. PR companies, what else we have? I mean, the community is very diverse. So that community that are having their organizations and working from the hub is part of the third pillar, which is the network. But it's not only about access of the members internally, like locally, but it's also about regionally. And as I explained, there are 84 hubs around the world, so you can potentially, as a member, have access to this 13,000 entrepreneurs that goes on a monthly basis to each one of the hubs around. So all in all, we do co-working space, but co-working is a secondary effect of what we are doing. The main core activity is supporting entrepreneurs that are using business as a source of good, or that are or would like to become impact entrepreneurs with a more meaningful objective in life than just making money. Making money is not bad, it's good, it's actually very much needed, but we see it rather as a means of doing something, which might be impact at the end of the day, social impact, environmental impact.
Great.
So that's what we do.
So you're also an entrepreneur, or you?
Yes.
So what did you do? How did you start with entrepreneurship?
Well, how did I know?
Were you entrepreneur as a child, or
Well, when I was 18 years old, and even before, I was helping my family doing different things. Then, when I was 18, I started my university in the north of Mexico. I'm from Mexico, and then there, when you realize that the education is such an important thing, we were just talking to Ante about it, and how important is education, not only in Croatia, but in the world, in Bosnia. I had the opportunity to be part of a lot of entrepreneurial courses, and when I was studying, entrepreneurship was, even though I'm an agricultural engineer, I studied agriculture, an agronomist, I had entrepreneurial courses in my university, so that was very normal for me. So when I finished university, I started working. I was doing for some side jobs at the same time, but then when I started working, after 3 years, I realized this is not something I would like to do because I was having a good job, an international company, good paycheck, but yeah, it wasn't something that I wanted to do. So later I went to study a master's degree. And during that study, I was setting up and kicking off some initiatives. And then I came back to, not came back, I came to Croatia because back in that time, my former girlfriend, Croatian, little natural connection to Croatia.
Sure.
And then I came here, and in 2009 we decided on setting up something, and that something came as Impact Hub Zagreb. That's one of the things that I was starting.
So you started Impact Hub Zagreb?
That's true.
No.
Yes, I'm the director and the co-founder.
Really? So before you come, there was no hub here in
There
Zagreb?
was nothing.
I didn't
Yes.
know.
So how did you even get into contact with them, or did they contact you? Or
No,
someone else?
it wasn't just a thing that I myself did,
Yeah.
because there was a team behind.
Yeah.
We are 6 co-founders of the Impact Hub. In 2009, actually we started there in 2010. And in 2011 we found 6 crazy individuals like us. I mean 5 plus 1. And we decided to open something like that because there wasn't something like this in Croatia. We saw the opportunity. Nobody knew about co-working spaces. We said, okay, let's be crazy enough and start something like this. And it was in 2013. 2010 we started the legal entity. It took us 2 years to build the community because you cannot just open one thing like that and expect people to come, especially under the Croatian conditions. This is the least entrepreneurial country I have been, so it's true. It is still very difficult, but it's not impossible. There are opportunities all around, and that was an opportunity that we saw in 2013 when we opened, finally, after 2 years of community building. And since then, we've been 3.5 years open in August this year.
So, but you started in another location, not here, right?
No, yes, in Zagreb.
Yeah.
Yes, and then we moved after 1.5 year here. Because this is bigger, this is 60% bigger. And we are already looking for a bigger one, so if you know of the place, 1,000 square meters, so why not?
How many startups do you have in Impact Hub right now?
Depends on your definition of startups. I will say how many
People you can
entrepreneurial
say.
ventures have. Yes, how many people can fit? That's another question. So let's start one by one. There are 45, if I'm not mistaken, 45 organizations coming to the hub on a monthly basis. All of them are entrepreneurs. Some of them are startups, so it's different.
Yeah.
Startups under the definition of, let's say, IT startup, rapidly growing organizations based on ICT startups. Probably that's the
So
equation.
they don't have to be the ICT startup.
Exactly. So now we're speaking the same language. So we have 45 organizations, the majority individuals, that can, under that definition, be startups. Yes.
So you also started, you mentioned incubator of some sort.
We started an incubator. I believe we will have questions, right? Or maybe they could.
Yes, actually the questions were supposed to be at the very end of the interview.
But she has a morning question, so maybe we can allow it.
Good question, sure.
Okay, I can wait till the end of the session.
No, if you have a good question,
Please.
go.
I was wondering about startups that are in Impact Hub right now. Do they all, is one of the criteria that their mission is like social impact?
Not at all.
So basically anyone with any
Yes.
sort of idea,
Actually,
any sector can come in and work from here.
totally. And that's actually the majority of people here. I can divide the members into different groups depending on their entrepreneurial journey. We have people in the beginning of the entrepreneurial journey, and this has to do with the incubators. I will link that out later. You will see people, I don't know, I mean, you might be an entrepreneur. People who are looking for opening something, those are the exploration phase. That would be the first phase of the entrepreneurial journey. Exploration phase, interest phase. Yeah, I would like to do something. I'm a recently graduated person, or I'm in transition. I want to look for another job, so I would like to do something on my own. Those are the ones who are in the first phase. The second phase is the intention formation. So they just took a conscious decision of doing something, so they are in the intention decision. They do not have yet a legal entity nor an idea well developed, but they already are after this first stage of exploration, right? So those are the intention phase. The other one is the idea phase. So you took a conscious decision, you are interested, you took a conscious decision of doing something, and you are in idea development. And there is the beginning of your real entrepreneurial journey, because you are already thinking on what to do by your own, with a group, with a team, or by yourself. Then later, after iterating certain business models, or maybe you found a team, then you start the phase of startup. Maybe you even open a legal entity. So that's the fourth one. After startup, then there is the last one, which is not the last one, the ongoing operations. Because the last one can come after ongoing operations, which will be the scaling. Okay, 6 phases, different characteristics, each one of them. Members from Hub are mainly post-interest, even post-idea, and from startup, ongoing operations, and probably 1, 2 of them scaling. So it's in the middle. Probably the majority in the early, more tending to the early phases of it. And in different fields. It's very diverse. We have website developers, and we have organizations like Troido guys. They are more in the right end of the spectrum. This is a representative company from Düsseldorf. They decided to grow and open a legal entity from Croatia, and they have been with us 2 years. We have also the other company here in front in this office. They are a PR company, already in ongoing operations, post-startup phase. But you can also have like our incubation program. So I mentioned our programs like Wise for Women entrepreneurs, or the incubation program. The incubation program focus on post-idea and prototype-based organization. Maybe not even with the legal entity. So fitting or creating the market, the product market fit.
Startup phase.
Startup phase. Prototyping their services / product, and they need support and help. We, for example, give access to mentoring. We have a mentoring model that I was explaining to Timothy. We have also access to different resources. So that's what I mentioned in the beginning. It's also a content knowledge-based business model where we give entrepreneurs access to different resources like those. Did I answer the question?
So basically, you help entrepreneurs from phase 2 to phase 6.
Yes.
Basically, once they become legal entity, do you kick them out?
No, on the contrary, they can continue here.
Okay.
For example, if they start growing or outgrowing what we can offer, which has happened. The last company over there, STEM, amazing guys, website developers, building online online platforms. They got contracts with one with Podravka, another one with other big companies, so they are not going to use the office here anymore. Besides, they're going to start hiring. I cannot keep them here if my maximum capacity of one company is 5 persons. That's great, that's awesome. Because when they came here, they were in, this guy, the CEO, it's his second venture. So he obviously went faster. And he knew exactly what he needed. And he knew exactly what he didn't want to in such a place. That was the right match with us. Because he needed only one single contract. He didn't care about having fancy things, because he knew that he can save costs, he can connect quickly, he can he can be in an awesome environment with good energy, or if he wants, he have access to different resources, knowledge, content, whatever, and rapidly grow. So our business is a business-to-business offer, fitting on post-idea, early phase to startups, but also ongoing operations, and potentially depends scaling.
Is every impact hub the same around the world?
They more or less follow the same business model, but depends on the local reality. Look, we cannot compare with Impact Hub in Seattle, for example.
Sure.
The guys have 3,000 square meters of space, 400 entrepreneurs. But the hub in Prague is very similar than Seattle, because the business model is slightly different. Also the mentality versus Croatia is different. Although it's a former, Soviet, let's say, country, and the mindset might potentially be the same or very similar, I'm not saying. But locally speaking, they have different challenges. So it really depends on where you are. And there are 84 impact hubs, and they adapt their business model according to reality. But all of us share the same objective and mission of supporting entrepreneurship as a source of doing good into the society. So the impact incubator, it's only 50, and that's the difference with other incubators in Croatia. We were actually surprised to find out that that's the only one that exists to support social entrepreneurs. Although we don't want to name it social entrepreneurs, because if you say in Croatian, it's also
it has a bad connotation.
Yeah, so we rather focus on impact entrepreneurs. And you have another question.
So, what actually is social entrepreneurship? Can you just go over it? For example,
that would be
social entrepreneurship startup. What would that be?
Look,
how would
depends
it
on
differ?
who you ask.
Okay.
We don't want to define what it is, but I can tell you what are the characteristics of such an organization. If you are an entrepreneur that saw a gap in the market, that try to solve a social problem or an environmental problem with a market-based approach, then you are for me a social entrepreneur. So you are using entrepreneurship to solve a social and environmental problem by having a sustainable business model. So it can be an app, it can be a mobile platform, but the difference is that you took a conscious decision on building something, solving a problem in the society, in the environment, that is having a social or an environmental impact. And you are going to measure it, and you integrate this measurement in your KPIs of your organization. So, I mean, if you ask some other countries and other places, they will tell you a different definition or different characteristics. That's not my definition, that's the characteristics of what we saw impact entrepreneurs in the region. Anton knows it very well. You know that there is a lot of opportunities to solve problems.
Yes.
The challenge is that a lot of NGOs do not have, for example, the mindset or the business mindset to solve the problem. And you have also, on the other hand, mainstream organizations who are only just looking for pure return of the money, financial return. I'm not saying that's wrong. What I'm saying is that that's limiting your capacity of having an impact in the society. If you are capable of making money, and again, capable of making money by solving a problem and creating an impact and an added value and worth, a lot of creation or that you can create wealth, then sorry, that will be awesome. Because then you will match the Gandhi mindset with Henry Ford mindset. How awesome would that be?
That sounds good, yeah.
So that's what we consider a definition of impact entrepreneurship.
Social.
Or social entrepreneurship, you want to, yes.
Well, when I looked into the subject before, I saw it mostly on the internet. It's a social entrepreneurship. You explained why it's better to be called impact entrepreneurship in Croatia. So there's no one else in Croatia doing this?
There are some organizations, yes, the ones that we are actually collaborating. Because I didn't explain in the beginning, we are based, Impact Hub Zagreb is based on 3 main values that you can also see in 84 different hubs around. There is courage to do things, to really actually make things happen. Second, it's trust, so courage, trust. that we want to not only preach but to practice and do things a lot related to trust, being transparent. The third one is about collaboration. So we wouldn't be where we are if we wouldn't be collaborating. Recently there was this gathering in Sarajevo where we were, being part, because there are also other organizations doing similar things. Why should we do it there if they are already doing it? We'd rather join forces and do things better, because the whole can do things faster and better than the individual. You can do a little bit things in a slower pace, but you can go further, and it's more sustainable at the end of the year. So, and that's the same rationale that we have here. So when you ask about what other organizations, yes, in Croatia there are. We have ACT, Grupa in Čakovec doing a lot of different things. We have also other small organizations locally doing different things. One of the main challenges what I have seen as a foreigner in Croatia is this lack of collaboration. And I'm not saying about these organizations that I mentioned, but other organizations that do not see that joining forces will be even better than just doing your own and replicating or wanting to invent the wheel. If somebody else is already doing something efficiently, why shouldn't you do it together? But it's this mentality of, no, I'm going to do my thing. This is exactly what I want to do. I know that I'm going to make it and do it better. Well, continue that path and see where it leads to. But we believe on the other way of doing things collaboratively, with a clear vision and alignment towards what we want to do. It's freaking difficult, but it's possible. It takes a lot of time. It's very slow, but there is no other way. If you want sustainability, if you want a better society, I think doing things together with others who are also doing great things pays off.
Okay, since usually Croatian audience had very little questions, now I'll happily ask, are there any more questions for Hermes?
Yes, I have many. So when you talk about collaboration, are you trying to say that you're not currently collaborating with other
On the
hubs
other
present in Croatia or Zagreb?
with other hubs, with other.
Like Hub 385?
I would love to do something together, of course. We were actually visiting, talking to Luca. Luca is also a friend, and they are doing amazing things with the ICT field. They are more of a venue. My understanding is that they are more of a venue place.
I don't know. I'm not a big expert.
But they are clearly doing interesting things. So why not do this? Yes. We do. Their core is not that similar to what we are doing to support, as I explained, all these things, to support entrepreneurs with a different mentality. As far as I know, and so far that's what I have seen. But maybe they have long-term vision of doing something related. I mean, of course, why not?
They do, but I'll also interview them and you can see it. It's similar, but from what I see, and I've been in most of the co-working places, incubators, and accelerators all over Croatia, you're the ones who focused most and to foster a social entrepreneurship. I know I keep coming back to it because, you're the only one doing it the most for it, even though there are others trying to do it. But for example, the incubator. So is it unique to Impact Hub Zagreb, or are there other kinds of incubator?
In other hubs are similar programs.
Yeah.
Yes, with slightly different components and fitting again the local realities of other hubs. But at the end, the rationale is the same: to support entrepreneurs with that mentality, or foster entrepreneurship that is using again business as a source of solving a problem.
Common good is the focus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Go.
So do you like when entrepreneurs seek a membership in Impact Hub, do you make a difference between the ones that are making the social impact and the ones that are just starting their own business?
No, they are the ones that
to
do.
make profit. So you don't make the difference.
I mean, they are the ones that select. Why should I apply a customer or a potential member and tell them no, yes?
No, I'm not saying that you were, I'm just thinking that maybe membership is different in terms of maybe social entrepreneurs are
No.
getting lower prices for,
No.
for space or for
No.
services, no?
So if you go to the website and see, it's about, and it's not even about if they can pay it or not, because for example, for NGOs, we give 30% discount. For students, we give 50% discount.
Well, that's that.
Well,
That's right.
but you can be a social enterprise by having a JDO or a DO or an UDUGA or a SANDUGA. So we do not discriminate in that sense. It's rather, actually it rather works the opposite. So the process of somebody becoming a member starts with the first touching point, which is the website or calling or visiting.
Mhm.
Since we exercise always the second value of trust and transparency, it's like, look, this is what we are, this is what we offer. If you feel like this is the thing for you, I mean, so be it. So I mean, if you can pay obviously the fee, or if not, for example, the incubator was for free, and it was based on selection because it was paid from another organization.
Mm-hmm.
So we understand also the challenges. We ourselves are entrepreneurs. We understand the challenges in the beginning. Why should I ask for a fee of an incubation program if they don't have money? So at the end of the day, as a businessman, somebody has to pay for it. But in this case, it's not the entrepreneurs. So it's just a matter of who will pay. A foundation, the government, but at the end, entrepreneurs are the ones who are the ones supporting this.
Is there one project or one company or any company that you worked with in the past 2 years that you are proud of?
Yes, I mean, all of the people from the incubator, for example, that I have been supporting and working with.
Yes, I mean, that was a product of work of Impact Hub.
It will be too much to say that's our product, because it's not. It's their own, effort and their own energy.
Of course.
So we are just the catalyzer, facilitator,
Mhm.
the enabler. So I'm not going to tell you, yes, it's because of us that these guys are, partially probably yes, but I can tell you, and I can maybe name some of those who have been telling us that otherwise, without being part of the hub or being part of the product, they wouldn't be doing certain things. Yes. So indeed, I mean, we're proud of that, and they are the ones constantly telling us. And I personally don't do this for the paycheck, although it's good to have a paycheck, and I don't think that I earn a lot, because I can earn 4 times in Mexico what I'm earning. But I'm doing it also for satisfaction, and I'm doing it because of because what? Because
Your girlfriend's
because my daughter is here.
You're better.
Yes, exactly. So
You're stuck here now.
you're stuck whatever you want to be stuck. So yes. So not really. So it's I mean I'm not the creation one. So if there will be more people interested in changing the reality, which is a very challenging, but we are still not Afghanistan or Syria. So you can still do different things and make a difference from your own perspective, from your own front.
How are you happy with the change you did since starting Impact Hub?
Extremely happy. So I will be even happier if we will have a bigger space. If we will have been able to move faster, but we grow organically. And the hub, and that's also another difference with mainstream organizations or fewer for-profit chasing organizations, let's say. I'm an agronomist, right?
Yeah.
So I do understand that a tree is not going to give you fruits overnight. So it's the same with our organization, and it's the same with a lot of social enterprises. So you have to plant the seed, you have to irrigate, you have to feed it with the right fertilizers, otherwise it gets spoiled and then dies. So I understand the pace of how much does it take to really grow an organization, especially under creation conditions, where almost everything is against you. So you need to fully to have fully charged your batteries, but also a community of support. Also your network should be strong enough that supports you so you can go further. So I'm happy, but on the other hand, we could have done things better as in any organization. So if I'm not self-reflective and I'm self-critic, then there is no way that we can grow. So, we could have done things different, better, like any other, but that's how it is, and we learn constantly, so we do things better, hopefully.
Do you have any advice for people who want to do some social entrepreneurship work or try to do the same things you're doing?
Just do it. Just go out of your comfort zone and do it. Because a lot of people just complain about it and don't do things. So if you want to do it, just make a difference.
I want to ask about
Yes, please.
in this time when you started and supported some businesses here that you have been following, what are the most successful fields?
Successful
Fields.
fields. You mean like
People who started here and then they became successful, and what kind of work they are doing?
that's very diverse in terms of fields, but it's also in terms of what's your definition of success. because
they support themselves, they have
that they can pay their own.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So ICT is one field,
ICT is what?
like information communication technologies, information technologies, like programmers, website developers, ICT, graphic designers even. But you can also see education as well. There's an enormous amount of opportunities in education and creation.
But is there any
Yes.
project you saw that?
Yes.
What is?
Yes. I mean, you can see the guys from the incubator. One of them is STEMI. These guys are creating an example of robots to use. So they were very successful in the UK.
Yeah,
Here,
they
right?
incubated here.
They were part of the incubator. Yes, these last 3 months. Do we have, and that's related to incubation, to education. So they are using this robot. They are selling it. They are gonna sell it. They were very successful in less than 3 weeks. I think they got their amount of money last year in an Indiegogo crowdfunding campaign. They are using this building of a robot as an educational tool. So you, with your kids, you have, or with your children, can learn about fields of science, technology, engineering, mathematics, while building a robot like this. And they also are going to have online platform of education where the robot will also play a role so they can learn more things. So that's a successful one so far. Successful in the sense of having momentum. I just talked to one of them today, I find. They are going to open the company. So, and that's something different that other probably incubators. And it's also cool that we are not the government because we tend to tell people, do not open a company, do not register a legal entity unless you have people knocking at your door willing to pay, unless you have pre-sold things. But why? Because you're going to start paying a lot of taxes. You will have to pay already some paychecks. So either you get already some funds in your pockets, or you start with pre-orders or having already an pre-order or something with a database in your pocket that says those are going to be my customers or services because you know by fact they are going to be. Otherwise, don't open. So success in their example is, yes, they are ready to, they have proved the prototype, and then they are gone, they're on the way. You have these incredible 3 women that are, it's called Click Club. Click Club. KL Click Club. Yes, Click Club. The name is a bit difficult now, but they are setting up an organization that will create meals and will provide healthy meals for kindergartens. My daughter is 3-year-old. She eats sometimes crap from the kindergarten. And that's bad because that's a very important thing of their development and that's the future of creation. So imagine they will have access to better food, better even education. So what ClickUp is doing is providing a catering service for different kindergartens. So opportunities in the market are thousands.
They already started.
They are starting.
They are starting.
Before they start, look, that's very interesting. It's not only about having an idea. Ideas are super cheap.
Yeah.
Ideas don't matter. Execution is what matters. And also having something that is not an idea anymore, but it's a product or a service that somebody wants. If you build something that nobody wants, just stop there and go home. You have to build something that already has a demand, or you will create a demand, or you know by fact that that is going to be a paid service or product. Otherwise, you don't build anything. So the idea phase can last 1 day or 1 year, depends on who you are. What has to last enough time is the prototype phase, the phase before you open the company, and after you open the company, after you get the idea and before you open the company. That's the most critical time for an entrepreneur. The so-called product market fit, or yes, there are different definitions, depends on who you talk to. Lean startup guys or social entrepreneurs. So STEMI is one of them, ClickUp is one of them. What else? We have last year, there is this entrepreneur, she started, and she has been with the open company for some months already. She started last year. She set up a company based on, she's a nutritionist. So she came up with this idea because it didn't exist in Croatia of certified meals. So restaurants like the coast or hotels could have certified meals for the 11 million tourists that come to Croatia every year. It's incredible that nobody from these 11 million people who come to Croatia, if you have I bet a big percentage of that amount of people coming, you will find people with health problems, heart disease, you name it, diabetes. So what they need is reliable food, meaning food that they won't die or are allergic to. Sure. So imagine the market opportunity. So she's a nutritionist and she came up with this idea of Diana, she's called, of certifying meals. So she's offering this certification process. So a certification process which will be based on World Health Organization and different organizations, global entities that can have this certification and give you this know-how to have good meals, good menus, so you can offer to the customers. That's one example.
And she started.
She started some months ago. Right? Yes.
So, other than expanding Impact Hubs, can you share some other plans for the future or your personal friend?
Nothing but supporting entrepreneurs. Well, that's going to be my focus, our focus as Impact Hub. Following years. Making this ecosystem a better ecosystem of support for entrepreneurs. Because that's also about it. It's not only about us alone being disconnected from the ecosystem. It has to do about other organizations who would like to be part of the ecosystem of support for entrepreneurs. Because we alone, we're very small. It's an organization of 5 people, 325 square meters. That's pretty big one, right? But nevertheless, the impact that we have made, and this is something that I challenge because this is going to be in video, other innovators in Croatia to have. We do have our metrics of our impact. Poslovni Dnevnik just recently, 2 weeks ago, or some 3 weeks ago, released this article about our performance indicators that were reviewed by the University of Economics in Vienna and analyzed by them. And they were very cool, they were very nice. So we can tell about how many startups we have, what was the impact in the economy. You know that, for example, Based on this analysis, based on this surveys that we have last year, we know that 50% of the members in 2015 compared to 2014 increased their revenues. In a 50%, so half of the members increased their revenues from one year to another, 50% more. That's very cool. Second thing, you know, by fact that only last year, organizations that were around in the hub, they create 11 new employment, 11 new positions out of these 40-something that were at the hub. That's not us. Again, that's them. But maybe we help them enable somehow. We help them support. So those are 11 less persons in Bursa. And we don't receive any single money from the government. Probably we should.
Well, thank you everybody for coming here.
They have more questions.
Yeah, but this is why we have the other part of the network.
Perfect.
Yeah. Thank you for
Thanks to
hosting
you.
us here. And thank you everybody.